Hey, wake up! Wake up! Hey, what if I were to tell you that I wanted to play a game called 1812, The Invasion of Canada? Hey! No! Come back! No, not again! No, look, listen, right? Listen. This game is absolutely... Hey! This game is not what you expect. Give me just 60 seconds of your time. I'm going to prove how fun this game is. And put some clothes on already. Okay, let's go. What you're going to be doing in this game is simulating the war between America and Canada in 1812. Now, you're going to assume this game is stuffy and it's slow, and I'm going to tell you it's the opposite of those things. For a start, this is a game for exactly 5 players. That's interesting. 3 players will be taking on 2. That's interesting. And everyone will be controlling something unique, whether that's Native Americans or the ragtag Canadian militia. Now, what I'm also going to tell you is that this game is funny! Just like the War of 1812 was one of the funnier wars in human history, kind of, where Thomas Jefferson declared that taking Canada would just be a matter of marching, and then what actually happened is the British burned down the White House. Now, you're going to assume that this is a game of convoys and supply charts. What I'm going to tell you, the heart of it, is just laughing. There's one of your friends steers another friend into a horrible fight and then proceeds to run away, causing an awful lot of swearing. Wouldn't you want to play that? Time! So, first things first, this game is actually the first of a Birth of America trilogy. The next one, 1775 Rebellion, is coming out within the next few weeks. I'm probably going to buy it because it's probably going to be excellent just like this, with its 5 slim pages of rules and so much amazing game. So, let's see how it works. What we've got here is America invading Canada, and they're at war! And the side that wins will be the one that controls more of these special starred locations on the other border than anyone else. But let's see how your turn goes. Let's say you're playing the Canadian militia. Your horrible bourbon-basted nightmare is that you're yellow, literally and figuratively, and you're spread all across Canada, and America's at the borders! What's going on? Just don't worry, they're just cubes. They're not going to hurt you. So, on your turn, all you do is play a card from your tiny little deck of your choice. Maybe it lets you move 2 armies 1 space, or 1 army 2 spaces. And this is where the game starts revealing its sense of humour. Because this is a funny game, it is, and I feel sorry for it, because no one's going to think it is. What counts as an army is any cluster of cubes that has just 1 of your colour in it. Which means your turn in 1812 will see your whole team begging, cajoling, pleading for you to listen to their logic. But ultimately, you can always just drive a whole wedge of someone else's troops into a fight. The most brutal combat America has ever seen. That's funny. And what's also funny is what happens next with the dice. So, like lots of games, 1812 works out combat with dice, and dice are neat. They're little game design tools, you know, they're random number generators, but they're fun for players to roll. But if I was teaching a game design course, I would use 1812 as an example of how to get the most out of dice, because this game just squeezes more fun from them. For a start, every faction gets control of its own private secret dice. The British Army does a lot of murder. The 2 militias do an awful lot of running away. The Native Americans do an awful lot of nothing at all. There's a lot of blank faces on their dice, which make them unpredictable. And what happens in a fight is your team will all roll their dice together. Look at that. And then you can trash talk your friends as you say, do better, then the other side will roll their dice. And then you'll roll your dice again until no one's left standing, still, because they might be running away. And then, running units go here. It's all just neat, and it's theatre, and it's tense. It also means that your team will do better if you work together. A force of combined arms does the best. So you actually have to drag your friends into fights with you to do the most damage. It's just so entertaining, and so quick, so simple, so smart. Okay, you've been very good listening to me talk about Canada. So here's like an intermission where me and Brendan did a let's play of a game called Jazz, which we got sent just this week. Are we in shot?
I think it might need to go. Is it? I'll have to hunch.
You can hunch, but that's jazz. Hunching is jazz. Skit.
Scoodly.
Skit
Scoodly.
Skit scoodly cis normative.
Skit scoodly cis normative beep.
Skit scoodly cis normative beep jip.
Scoot skiddly Yes,
That's
no,
bollocks. You just
No, that's beep, yeah, doop day.
beep yeah doop day batter.
Beep, doop, boop.
Doop biddles.
Doop, biddle, squee.
At batter.
Bad at.
Batter at boke. Batter at boke. Bat socialism skeet.
The thing is, I don't want to check. Do you even remember what you just said?
Biddle beep skeep scoop.
I
all
said.
that. No, sorry, yeah, messed that up. When does the game end? Right, yes, sorry, winning. So, the actual strategy of 1812. So, like I said, as you move troops into foreign locations that are important, you'll get a victory point for that, and likewise for the other team. Now, you might think this need to group cubes of different colours together is the rule that rules 1812, but no, the rule that rules 1812 that you don't realise at first is the fact that whoever's territory you're in hits first in combat. That's enormous. Americans in Canada will get whittled away. Canadians in America will get whittled away. And yet, while you want the other side to attack first so you can hit their forces really hard, if the other team manages to get to Montreal or pierce all the way down to Albany, these places where troops appear each turn, reinforcements, that team doesn't get those reinforcements and has to send troops from all the other side of the board to reclaim them. That's enormous. Suddenly, this is a really high stakes game. What you've got is you want the other team to push in just a bit, but if they push in too much, if someone slips, if these dice don't play with you, then suddenly you're in a whole lot of trouble. And no, it's not easy to get your head around. Suddenly, this game is very simple, but really quite difficult. Your team bicker and talk, and you scream, and that's great for a team-based game because there's so much risk-reward in 1812 that really it's impossible for one player to be bossy and tell everyone else what to do. When one player performs a risky maneuver and crosses Lake Erie and just gets pushed back, you're going to be furious. You're going to say, you'll do better on your turn and steer his troops into some other lion's mouth. And maybe you will, or maybe you won't, but you will always have fun rolling these chunky dice and pushing these tiny little cubes around. Look, they're so small. They're so cute, you just want to eat them. Don't actually eat them, you might die. So far, you've probably grokked that this game is smart. But you don't come here for smart, do you? You're like me. You come here for the rush of genius. So let's talk about how 1812 ends, okay? You're going to be playing and drawing one card each turn. That might be a movement card, like we talked about before. It might be a special event, like the US Army banning troop movements in publications, newspapers. Or it might be this. Your side signs the peace treaty, which is a movement card that isn't great, but when everyone on your team has played their treaty card, the game ends. Now let's talk about what that means. Let's say you're someone on the heroic Team Canada and America is dashing themselves against your borders and you're letting them. You're mounting a heroic defense, and while America is taking all of these precious objectives, they're also wearing themselves away. You're letting them take mile after mile of Canadian soil and trading it for their blood. Except suddenly, cha-ching, one of the American players plays their truce card, meaning the moment the other player plays it, the game ends. The board's changed, the game has changed. Suddenly you're in a desperate struggle to reclaim these places. Your own soldiers don't matter anymore. You just have to push, you have to move this quickly because the game could end any second. Now, let's say you're that American player who hasn't played their truce card yet. The Canadians are all surging forward, claiming stronghold after stronghold after stronghold after stronghold, dashing themselves against the US, wearing their own forces away. And you have to try and keep a straight face, because you don't have your truce card. You have no idea where it is. It's in your deck somewhere, and then the dice are rolled and all combat happens and it's all very exciting and you're giggling, except then on one turn, 2 Canadians played their truce cards. Suddenly you have to try and retake back all this territory and you don't know how you're going to do it, and the game's so tense. So, 1812, just a fantastic game, and weirdly not the best first gateway Canadian war game we've looked at. A Few Acres of Snow is also an incredible war game that we looked at last year. Much more complicated, but just for 2 players. So whether you only have one friend, whether you have lots, whether you like complicated games or simple ones, you now have no excuse for not trying out this fabulous field of Canada-related war games, or just war games in general. If you've not read it yet, definitely go and look at our new columnist Matt Thrower's war game column, specifically the primer on war games. We are so proud to be working with a veteran war gamer. We're quite proud to. He's all right. Basically, he knows where we live. Okay, so on my turn, I'll just chew that tissue, swallow it, and gain a glory point. That was a good game though. That was close. That was a good match. So, do you want to play again? No! 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 Brendan! I said, do you want to play again? No! 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 Brendan! I said, do you want to play again? Is this real? What? I said, do you want to play again? Do you want to play again?
No.
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 Do you want to play again? Okay, and I'll finish chewing the fridge, and that means I win. That was a close game though. Do you want to play again?